it's me Jenny and welcome to my channel. So as you can see from the title and thumbnail of this video, I'm going to be showing you how to knit this rib beanie. This is for size newborn up to 6 months old. The measurements around circumference unstretched, it is 11.5 inches, so between 11 to 12 inches, but this can stretch up to 6 months old baby. So for 0 to 3 months you fold it, and for 3 months and above just fold it a little bit maybe, and for 6 months you can just leave it, and it can be a slouchy beanie for baby 5 to 6 months. Okay, so these are all knitted using a medium weight yarn number 4. So for this gray beanie right here, I knitted with this yarn. I love this yarn. It is a 100% acrylic and it is a medium number 4. And for this rainbow color yarn, it is the Red Heart Super Saver. This is also number 4, medium number 4 weight yarn. And for this beanie right here, I knitted using this yarn, Lion Brand Mandala Ombre, and this is also a medium weight number 4 for this yarn. This is a cascade yarn. I do not have the label, but I'm going to put a screenshot. This is how it looks like. This is a worsted weight number 4, worsted weight yarn, so it's number 4. And for this one right here, this is the loops and thread yarn. I think this is discontinued, got this from Michael. And this is also a medium weight number 4. So all this beanie right here knitted with a medium number 4. So just keep in mind that not all medium weight yarn number 4 has the same thickness and texture. Okay, so as you can see, the different right there and the different right there. Okay, so what you need to make this beanie are medium weight yarn number 4, 16-inch from tip to tip knitting needle. This is 5mm knitting needle. You also need double pointed needle, the same size, 5mm. Okay, you need 4 double pointed needle, and of course you need needle to weave in your ends and stitch marker. Okay, so without further ado, let's start. Okay, so we're going to start by casting on 48 stitches. And the cast on technique that I'm going to be using in this tutorial, it is called the long tail cast on. So I'm not going too much into details on how to do the long tail cast on. So basically you need a very long tail to do the cast on. So for 48 stitches, you to make sure that you have enough tail to cast on, what I normally do is just wrap around 48 times on both of the knitting needle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 47, 48. Okay, so once you wrap 48 times around both of the needles, and make a slip knot right there. And now we're going to insert the knitting needle in the loop right here. And now we are going to cast on 48 stitches. Okay, so if you're not sure how to cast on using this long tail cast on technique, you can search on YouTube. I'm sure there's a lot of great tutorial on how to cast on with long tail cast on. Okay, so this loop right here count as the first stitch. So now I'm going to cast on the rest of the stitches. Okay, so I've cast on 48 stitches. I'm just going to double check the stitch count. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so I've cast on 48 stitches, and for the tail I have this much. So I'm just going to snip it off and just leave enough for me to tidy up the stitches once I'm done knitting the beanie. Okay, just leave about 7 or 6 inches. Okay, so now we're going to start round 1, and for this beanie we are going to do the ribbing stitch where we knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, and purl 2. Okay, so grab your stitch marker and we're going to place it at the right side of the needle right here. And before we start, make sure all the stitches is not twisted, and we're going to pull the yarn to we're going to pull the stitches to both ends of the needles like so. Okay, so now we're going to knit 2. So we're going to knit 2 and purl 2. Going to knit the first 2 stitch, the first stitch and second stitch. One and knit 2. Okay, so now we're going to purl 2 stitch. So bring the working yarn forward and we're going to purl the next 2 stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so now we're going to knit 2, bring the working yarn to the back of the needle, and if it gets too tight, just slide the stitches to the left side of the needle. Okay, so now knit 2, 1, 2, now purl 2, bring the yarn forward and purl 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so you're going to continue knit 2 and purl 2 until you reach the end of the round where the stitch marker is, and the last 2 stitch right here, it should be purl stitch. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 1 and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done with round 1, you knit 2 and purl 2 until the end of the round. As I mentioned, the last 2 stitch should be purl stitch. So if your round 1 looks like mine right here where there's big gap in between, not to worry about it. We will fix it with this tail right here. That's the reason why I mentioned earlier to leave it 6-7 inches tail. Okay, so once you're done, we're going to continue round 2. For round 2, we're going to do the same as round 1. So we're going to slide the stitch marker to the right side of the needle, and we're going to do exactly same, knit 2 and purl 2. Okay, so the first stitch, the knit stitch, we're just going to pull it a little bit tight so that it will not leave too much gap in between right here. Okay, so now the second stitch, we're going to knit as well. Now we're going to purl the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, now purl 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so you're going to continue this rib stitch. We're going to knit 2 and purl 2 until you reach round 37, or until you get 7 inches length from round 1 until just about right here before the decrease. Okay, knit until round 37 or until you get about 7 inches in height or length. Okay, so go ahead and finish up. Every round is the same. Once you reach the end, slide the stitch marker to the right side of the needle and continue knit 2 and purl 2 till the end of the round, and continue every round. Okay, so just go ahead and finish up until round 37 or until you get about 7 inches in length. Okay, so once you knit until you reach round 37 or until you get 7 inches length. So right now I'm at round 37 and I got about 7 inches from round 1 till round 37, about 7 inches. Okay, so now for round 38 we are going to do 6 stitch decrease. So we're going to grab the double pointed needle. You need 4 double pointed needle, and you may remove the stitch marker because we do not need this anymore. And now we're going to do the decrease round 38. Okay, so first we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, next we're going to purl 2, 1, 2, next we're going to knit 2, 1, 2. So next, this 2 purl stitch right here, we are going to purl 2 together. We're going to purl both stitches. So this is going to be our first decrease. Okay, so we're going to purl this both stitch together. Purl 2 together. Okay, so we made our first decrease. So at the same double pointed needle, we are going to do the second decrease. So first we're going to knit 2, purl 2, knit 2 and purl 2 together. Okay, so after you made your purl 2 together, the first decrease, now we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, next we're going to purl 2, 1, 2, next we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, next we're going to purl 2 together. We're going to purl these 2 purl stitch together. Okay, so we made 2 decrease in the first double pointed needle. So now we're going to grab the second double pointed needle and we're going to do exactly same as what we did at the first DPN double pointed needle. Okay, so we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, next we're going to purl 2, 1, 2, next knit 2, 1, 2. Next you're going to purl both stitches together. Okay, so we made the third decrease. Now we're going to knit 2, purl 2, knit 2. Knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2, 1, 2. Next, knit 2, 1, 2. Next, we're going to purl 2 together. So this is our fourth decrease. Okay. Next, we're going to get the third needle, and we're going to do the last 2 decrease on the third needle right here. Okay, so we're going to do exactly same as the first and second double pointed needle. We're going to knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2, 1, 2. Next, knit 2, 1, 2. Next, we're going to do the decrease number 5 or 5th decrease. We're going to purl both stitches together. Okay, so next we're going to knit 2, purl 2, knit 2. Knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2, 1, 2. Next, knit 2, 1, 2. Next, we're going to purl both stitches together. Okay, so this is decrease number 6. So the circular needle right now, can just put this aside, we're not using this anymore. And from now on we're going to knit and decrease with double pointed needles. Okay, so done with round 38. For round 38 we made 6 decrease. So for now you should have total of 42 stitches around. Okay, so now we're going to do round 39. So for round 39 there will be no decrease. So what we're gonna do is we're going to knit the knit stitch, purl the purl stitch. Okay, so each needle we're going to knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, and purl 1. Okay, so go ahead and finish round 39. You're going to knit the knit stitch, purl the purl stitch, and repeat all 3 double pointed needles. And you know, you at the end of the needle, at the end of the round, if you are at the 3rd needle, sometimes it's gonna be a bit confusing which one is the first and which one is the last needle. So how I determine which one is the first and last double pointed needle is simply by looking at the tail right here. So this is the first needle and this is the last needle. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 39, knit the knit stitch, purl the purl stitch, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done with round 39, now we're going to do round 40. So for round 40 we're going to do 6 decrease as well, 2 decrease on each needle. So for the first needle, so needle 1, 2, 3, it's the same pattern, the same repeat. So round 40 we're going to knit 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to purl 2, 1, 2. So now we're going to knit 1, Now we're going to purl 2 stitches together. So this is the knit stitch, this is the purl stitch. So we're going to purl these 2 stitches together. Okay, so now we're done with the first decrease. The second decrease we're going to do exactly same as like what we did right here. We're going to knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2, 1, 2. Next we're going to knit 1. Now we're going to purl 2 stitches together. Purl both stitches. Okay, so that is the second decrease. So now you're going to repeat the same on the second and third needle. You're going to repeat exactly same as what we did at double pointed needle number 1. So knit 2, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2 together, knit 2, purl 2, knit 1, and purl 2 stitches together. Okay, so go ahead and finish up, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done with round 40, you should have total of 36 stitches around and 12 stitches on each needle. Okay, so now for round 41. Okay, so now we're going to do round 41. Round 41, there will be no decrease. So basically, we're going to knit the knit stitch and purl the purl stitch. Okay, so I'm going to show the first needle and the rest. It's all repeat. So knit 2, 1, 2, and purl 2, 1, 2. Next, knit 1 and purl 1. Okay, so next knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2, 1, 2. Next, knit 1 and purl 1. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 41. Do exactly same as the first needle, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done with round 41, now we're going to do round 42. So for round 42, we're going to do 6 decrease, 2 decrease on each needle. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do on the first needle, and you're going to repeat the same on the second and third needle. Okay, so first we're going to knit 2, 1, 2. Next we're going to purl 2, 1, 2. Next we're going to purl 2 stitches together. Okay, so that's the first decrease for round 42. Now we're going to repeat exactly same as what we did right here. Knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2, 1, 2, and purl 2 stitches together. Okay, so this is the second decrease. Okay, so now you're going to do the rest of the decrease, 2 decrease on each needle. You're going to repeat exactly same as what we did on the first needle. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 42, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done with round 42, you made 6 decreases and 2 decrease on each needle. So you should have total of 30 stitches around, 10 stitch on each needle. Okay, so now for round 43, we are going to knit the knit stitch, purl the purl stitch. So no decrease for round 43. I'm going to show you the first needle, and you're going to repeat exactly same on second and the third needle. Okay, so we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, and we're going to purl 3. These are all purl stitch. So we're going to purl 3. 1, 2, 3. Next, we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, and purl 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 43. Knit the knit stitch and purl the purl stitch, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done round 43, now we're going to do round 44. So this is the last round for decrease. We're going to do 6 decrease as well, 2 decrease on each needle. Okay, so for round 44, we're going to knit 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to purl 1. Now we're going to purl 2 stitch together. Okay, so this is the first decrease. Now we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, purl 1, and purl 2 stitch together. Okay, so done with the second decrease, 2 decrease on the first double pointed needle. Okay, so now for needle number 2, we're going to do exactly same as needle number 1, where we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, purl 1, and purl 2 stitch together. And repeat, knit 2, 1, 2, purl 1, and purl 2 stitch together. Okay, so done with needle number 2. Now the third double pointed needle, we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, purl 1, and purl 2 stitch together. So that's the decrease number 5. Now the last decrease, we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, purl 1, and purl 2 stitch together. So this is the last decrease, decrease number 6. Okay, so done with round 44. For round 44, you should have 24 stitches around, and you should have 2, 4, 6, 8 stitches on each needle. Okay, so for the last round for this beanie, round 45, we're just going to knit 2 and purl 2. So knit the knit stitch and purl the purl stitch. Okay, so round 45, no decrease. Just knit the knit stitch and purl the purl stitch. So knit 2 and purl 2. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 45, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done round 45, go ahead and cut the yarn. Just cut enough for you to grab all the stitches and weave in the ends. So I'm just going to leave about this long. Okay, so grab your needle, and we're going to insert the tail to the needle right there. And what we're gonna do is we're going to collect all the stitches on the needle and transfer it to the yarn. Okay, so just slide it off. Okay, so now just pull the yarn tight. And just make sure there's not a big hole at the middle right there. And what I normally do is just go around a few more times just to make sure that it's really secure. Okay, so now I'm going to push this needle inside and I'm going to grab it from in here. Okay, so just make a few knots. I normally do it 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so done. Just going to weave it in. And just cut it off. Okay, so we're going to turn it back, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so now we are going to tidy up and going to weave this in, and while we weave that in, we're going to just tidy up this stitch right here at round 1. And I'm going to make double knot, and I'm going to do it at the outside part because we're going to fold this anyway, and you do not want the knot to be visible when you fold it. So I'm just going to do the knot at the right side and just going to hide it. Just going to hide the tail at the right side. And this is how it looks like from when you fold it. Okay, so there you have it. This is how it looks like once it's done. So I do hope you find this tutorial easy to follow. If you have any question, leave your question at the comment section down below. I will try my very best to reply. And give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and share this video with your fellow crochet friends. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and click on the bell notification. That way you will be notified every time when I upload a video. And follow me on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care everyone. God bless and bye.